Hey guys, it's Packy, and we're back with yet another house bowling review, this time with a one-hander. And today we're going to talk about Kim's game and how to stop pulling the ball to throw more strikes.
All right, so we're back with another ball review here, or another review of Kim's game here, and so Kim has given us some problems that she's she's experienced. We reviewed her brother a little earlier, but yeah, so she says she's having some trouble keeping her hand on the inside of the ball. She's having some trouble pulling the ball sometimes, and that her hand rotates through the ball a little bit early. So keeping your hand on the inside of the ball and then having your hand rotate through the ball a little bit, I kind of can group those together. And then pulling the ball can kind of also be related to that. So we're going to help you. We're going to give you some tips to try and help you no longer pull the ball and be more consistent hitting your target. So as we look at Kim's game, we're just going to get into it. So Kim has a 5-step approach, which is good. It seems like she starts at the right spot on the lane. She doesn't look to be too tall, and she gives herself definitely enough room to slide. The one thing I would say is that, her swing looks to be a little bit high, and I noticed that she's got some tape, and I think that is just from using a little bit too much muscle. If she's experiencing some shoulder pain, or if she's, got the tape for extra support, I think it's just because of, this swing. She doesn't have much of a push away, and yet her swing is still super high, which tells me the only way to get your swing high without having a big push away or a big drop down in the swing would be to pull it back up to that height. So something I would say, she pushes it away to a great spot here. It's about hip level. She just pushes it straight out in front of her. But then it gets all the way up here. And this is just because of muscle. And I would say maybe, work on using a little less muscle. I don't have any specific tips besides use a lot of video feedback where every shot of practice, you just take a video, or, 5 shots in a row, you take a video where you're intentionally trying to use less muscle and really just swing the ball on its own. And then once you use that video feedback, you'll be able to match up what feels like a low arm swing and what actually is a low arm swing. So I would say, you don't really want to get it past shoulder height. So right about here would be the right arm swing, where it's, parallel to the ground. It's right in line with this arm here. And then you would have this right here. And those would be about the same height. So, yours goes a little bit past that, which is partially because of muscle. And then again, it's also partially because of you just, like I said, muscle, just pulling it back. So that's one thing that I would really give my tip to you would be, the less muscle that you can use to pull it back, the less muscle you're going to use to pull it down. And because it's so high, this is all going to relate back to why you miss in and why you pull shots. It's because in that backswing, you use a little muscle to pull it up. And because of that, now you're a little bit late. So coming to the line, the ball, your feet are it's like your feet beat the ball to the foul line. So your feet get there too fast, and then you're going to pull it down from the top. And when you pull it down, whenever somebody pulls their swing down and tries to rush their swing from the top, that means that they're using muscle, and muscle almost always means you're also going to pull not only the swing, but you're also going to pull your shots a little left or a little inside of your target. So when you start pulling it from the top, that's just going to create, you pulling it inside of your target where you said you have some problems. I can see it in the swing. But yeah. So as we get to our next point, you said you wanted to keep your hand inside. And, I think it all really happens at the top, and it happens a little bit with the leverage. So right here, we're good. But then I notice if we watch it just straight up in slow-mo, your hand rotates from inside. It's right here. And then your hand is going to rotate, and it's going to end up, when it comes down from the swing, it's going to end up on this side of the ball over here. So if we watch it in slow-mo, let's try and get one in slow-mo, and we'll watch your hand at the very top of your swing. It'll rotate. It's in, and then right there we see the ball kind of rotate over the top in this direction. It rotates like this way from left to right, where it goes over the top of the ball. So we'll watch it one more time, and that for me is just going to be something that you're going to have to keep in mind, where I want my hand to be inside the ball and make sure that my forearm is facing the right direction and my elbow's staying inside of it. Because when your hand comes down, it is on the side of the ball, as we can see. Let's try and get a shot right at the bottom. But we can see your hand. It's in a great spot on the way up, and then when it comes down, I think it's, again, partially because your arm swing is so high, and then even more probably because you're pulling it down from the top. But you can see your hand here is on the outside of the ball, and it's on the top of the ball. So what we want is we want your hand somewhere in this region where it's on the bottom inside corner of the bowling ball. And a way to do that would be to, one, get your arm swing lower, and two, it really comes down to leverage. So when I say leverage, I'm talking about you want to be in a really good athletic position. And it looks like you have a little knee bend, but we're going to need a little more. So if I would give you a bowler to watch and say, I want you to throw it like them, I want you to throw it like Rocio Restrepo. She's got this really deep knee bend. She's got this really loose arm swing that doesn't go up too high, and her hand is in the right spot on the inside of the ball. So if I would give you someone that, I would want you to imitate, it would be Rocio, because she's, instead of you're up here, maybe her knee bend is down here where she's like almost sitting down. It looks like she's in a chair when she's coming to the foul line, and she gets her hand in such a good spot because she's in that lower spot where she's got this great leverage position. She's really athletic and on the inside of the ball. But you have a lot of great things about your game that you don't need to improve. Your follow through, your balance at the line, right here, you don't move once you throw the ball. From the time that you come down right about here, you don't move. Your upper body stays pretty much the exact same spot. Your legs are about the same. So a lot of people sometimes pop up and you really do stay down. It's just, I would like to see you try and get down a little bit lower, and that would help you get your hand a little more inside the ball. The brace is a great tool to get your hand a little more underneath the ball, but now I think, it's more about getting inside the ball than it is underneath. But I think you have a great game. Even though your hand is outside the ball, you do have pretty good ball roll, which is, one of the harder things to accomplish. But I think as you get into a better leverage position and as you get more inside the ball, you're only going to see your scores improve. You're only going to see your confidence improve, and you're just going to become an overall better bowler. So the keys to you that I would just like to go over and highlight today, one of the things to not pull the ball would be try and lower that arm swing by not pulling it back. So once you drop it in, this is something you can practice at home. You can stand there with a bowling ball in your hand and just swing it. You don't have to, and it's all about not muscling it. You don't have to have a ball. You don't have to be at the bowling alley. You don't have to, pay for practice. You can just stand there in your house and swing the bowling ball, or stand there in your yard and swing a bowling ball and see, this is less muscle. This is no muscle. This is where my swing usually is. Stuff like that, where you're just swinging the ball to practice, getting a looser arm swing, getting, a little less muscle involved, where you don't pull it back. And then, your shoulder or your arm is probably going to stop hurting. You don't need to use tape anymore. But yeah, you have a great game, and I think you can definitely improve to really wherever you want to go from here, because you already have that foundation where if you just add a few tools, one thing here with that loose arm swing, and then getting your hand just a little more inside of it by getting lower at the line and getting to a better spot at the line, I think those two things can bring you really wherever you want to go. That's something that pretty much all of these pros do. They got that loose arm swing, and then on top of that, they get really low at the line and really stable at the line. So if you can just add those two things, I think you can really take your game to the next level. But we appreciate you sending one in, as well as your brother. So thanks for sending us your video, And we look forward to seeing you improve. And hopefully you send us another one and give us an update at where your game is at, maybe a month from now, maybe a couple weeks. But we can really, see where your game has gone. So thanks for sending it in. And we look forward to seeing your scores improve and seeing you next time.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking all the way through the end of this video. We really appreciate you guys sticking around. So if you guys want 50% off of your own coaching review, you can just click the link down below in the description for your own coaching review, and we'll send you guys a discount for 50% off. So thanks for sticking around. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.